Hey, so in this video, we are going to talk about keyframing and go over the basics in After Effects. What keyframing is a method of animation that allows you to set the points of action and let the computer interpolate between those moments to create movement or change. So, for example, when I twirl down this menu for the blue square, and I go down to transform, and you'll see we have a set of properties. So under transform, we have anchor point, position, scale, rotation, and opacity. These four are going to be your main methods of animation. And so to initialize a keyframe, you have to first hit the stopwatch. And when I do that, you'll see a little star or a little diamond pop up on inside our timeline. So when I hit position, it'll create a keyframe right where the blue playhead is. So again, when I hit the keyframe button here, it'll create a diamond or a keyframe right where the blue playhead is. I can then move that around using the mouse. So let's go back here. And if I hold down shift, it'll snap to particular points. So it would snap to 1 second, for example. It would snap to the end of a layer. It snaps to the blue playhead. Now, once you have initialized your keyframe, when you move your blue playhead and you change something about these numbers here, or the position of the object itself, or the scale or rotation, any change you make, it'll make a new diamond. So you see that I moved the position here, and it has created a new diamond. So for example, if I want to change the scale, I initialize the keyframe, jump forward in time, and I can change this. I can click on it here and I can type 50, so it'll shrink down to 50. And since this is locked, they'll both change down. Or when you hover over the number and you click and drag, that will change it. If you hold down Control and click and drag, it'll go in smaller increments. So you see that it's going pretty slowly, even though I've reached over here. Whereas if I click and drag and reach over here, it's gone down already to 1.8% from 100. I'm going to delete, I'm going to Control Z and zoom out so we can see this in action. So here, I'm going to initialize the position keyframe, jump forward in time to 2 seconds, and I hold down shift just to get that right on, and I am dragging my shape over. And notice it's showing me a visual representation of where it came from, and it's going in a straight line. So if I press the space bar for play, you see that it stops. And it goes in increments. It goes in a straight line here. And this is because this is linear interpolation. And it's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going at a constant speed. When we look at advanced keyframing, you'll see that we can change the speed of this using the graph editor. If I want to then go between these and say, actually, I want this to move up a little bit, I can go in between and have it curve up. So now it's going to go on a curve and come back down. And if I want this to come back to where it was in the beginning, I can draw a selection around this keyframe, and I'm clicking and dragging. And I can do Command C, I can do Command C, and Command V, and it'll paste that keyframe right where I had it. So if I go and play it again, we will see that come back. Now I could have other things happen here, right? I might delete these ones in the middle, delete this one in the middle. So we just have going from 1 second, moving over, and then I'm going to have it come back. Command C to copy that keyframe, jump to 2 seconds. So now we have it sliding back and forth. And I can combine that. So say maybe I want it to get a little bit bigger as it reaches this point. So I can change the scale. So it's going to start at 100%. I'm holding down shift to get it to line up on top of my other one here. I can type in, let's go to 150. And when it comes back, I want it to go back to 100%. And maybe I want it to rotate a little bit as it goes over. So rotate here, and it's going to rotate from the anchor point that is set. So it's going to rotate from the center, and I can type in 90 and then come back here and do something like 0 again. So it's going to both increase in size and come back. Now notice that the length of my layer is set to 10 seconds. I can hover over the end and drag it down to clip. So I'm holding down Shift so it clips right at the end there. And then this whole layer would disappear. So if this was one action, it would disappear after that. Or if I want to have this composition, the whole container just end at this one point, you'll see here there's another line. And this is our work area. And when this is set, I'm holding down Shift to snap it, you'll see that this will keep playing and it'll actually loop back to the beginning. It's not looping like if you exported this, we have a way to do that, which I'll show later on, but you can see that this is now creating a loop situation. The hotkeys for this, which I will use a lot, are to set the in point of a work area is B, which is already set there, but say I move to this point and I press B, notice the work area moves there, and N. So beginning and think end, and B and N are your hotkeys for that. And if I wanted to undo that, Control Z. And same thing, if I wanted to end this layer, I would do Alt or Option and the bracket key, the square bracket, and that moves the end of my layer there. And Alt or Option and left bracket, and that will create the beginning of the layer there. So if we ran this, see it doesn't pop up until that moment. Control Z, all of that. I'm going to end it there. Now, just because we have keyframe the position, when the scale and the rotation, you can also keyframe all of the contents inside the square. So for example, if I wanted to keyframe this fill color, and I'm dragging this up a little bit, I'm twirling down into the contents and into the color here, I can create a keyframe for the color. And notice that I have this right here, right? It is showing me this dot, which indicates there are properties that have been altered or transformed. They're keyframes in our transform. One hotkey that will be really handy to be able to see those at the same time is U. And when I press U, notice that it shows me position, scale, rotation, and color. It's going to reveal all of the keyframes that we have set previously. So I'm hold down Shift and I can change the color to red and jump forward in time. And I'm going to select this one, Command C and Command V. And so now it's going to show me those colors happening in between. One other thing you could do is you could press U again and it'll show you all of the settings inside. And I can, so I hit U twice here. I could change the stroke width, jump forward in time. Let's make this 20. Actually, let's make this 40. And I'm going to come back, change this back to 20. Maybe it was 8. I can copy and paste this one. Command C, Command V. So anytime you see a little stopwatch, that means you can keyframe any of those properties. In the next video, we're going to go over how to create more dynamic movement, because right now we're looking at it like, you know, they're just linear interpolations. What if I want to have this speed up or slow down to reach an area? We're going to look at that in the next video.